Hi everybody, happy Thursday. I'm Pia from Stitches and Scraps, and this is Lunchtime Live, episode 105. For those of you who are new here, Lunchtime Live is my video newsletter for Stitches and Scraps. So I'll start out by telling you everything that's new on the blog and in Stitches and Scraps land. And then we will finish up with a demo. Now this year I've been doing a Stitch of the Week, alternating between crochet and knit stitches. This is a knit week, and we're going to look at Eyelet Lace, which is not really a particular stitch, but more of a technique for making lace. So I'm going to show you a couple of different considerations when working with eyelets to make lace designs. So we'll work on that at the end, but first, let me tell you everything that's new at Stitches and Scraps. While I'm telling you these things, if there's something you want to see, like when I show you my new pattern, if you want to go get the pattern, look in the description on this video and you'll see a link to a blog post. In that blog post are all of the links to all of the things I plan to talk about. So if you want to go see something I'm telling you about, go there and you'll find it. Hi Beth, good morning, good to see you. I know you particularly love my new pattern this week because you saw it at Beth is in my local Crochet Guild chapter, and I showed my prototype of this at the why is the word slipping my head? Meeting. At the guild chapter meeting this last weekend, I showed my prototype while I was working on it. So the final pattern is finished and it is a rat. So I actually love rats. I used to have pet rats. I think they're very, very sweet. They're basically like miniature dogs in a lot of ways. They're very affectionate. They're very cuddly. But I needed to design a pattern for the Halloween crochet along over on Crochet Along Central. So I made this one kind of scary with bright red eyes and all black, you know. So this one is not a pet rat. This one is a wild rat. He's a scary Halloween rat. But you can also, oh, you do have rats. But who was it then that when I showed the prototype for this at the meeting, somebody said, why? I said, I'm working on a pattern for a rat. And they're like, why? I thought that was you, but I guess it wasn't you. It might have been someone else. But cool. Rat. I know there's a reason I like you, Beth. You're a rat person. So anyway, so this is supposed to be a scary Halloween rat, but you can totally make this pattern not scary and not Halloweeny. Use more realistic rat colors like browns and creams. Don't use neon pink for the ears. You know, you make it more realistic, and it'll be a really cute pet rat too. So the pattern can go both ways. Let me show you a little bit of a close-up of it. Here we go. So the whole thing is made in one piece from nose to tail. And for like the head, the body, and the tail are all made in one piece from nose to tail. And then all the little bits are sewn on later, which is the ears and the feet. And I made these little chubby, oh, you can't even see that. Here, if I show it to you this way, you see how the thigh sticks out a little bit? That's a little like clipped off flat circle. It's a circle with like a flat end here that you sew onto the outside and add a little stuffing to make the thighs nice and puffy. And then you get that nice body shape with the rat. So this is the latest pattern. It's for the Halloween Cal. If you are not familiar with CAL Central, be sure to go check out the Halloween Cal and the CAL Central Crochet Facebook group, because it's a huge group and we have a lot of fun. We do CALs we pretty much do CALs constantly through the year. We have several CALs that we do on repeat now because we took the most popular ones and we made them annual. And Halloween's one of the biggest ones. That's one of the most popular ones. This one, and we do one called the Holiday Stash Down Cal, which is also really fun. But this is the new pattern for right now. Now this guy is all soft. I only used polyfill stuffing in him. In the pattern, you're going to see an optional instruction. It's like if you want to, you can use these poly pellets to make it heavier in one spot. So like if you want a little more stability so you can pose him a little bit better, you know, or make the tail go up or stuff like that, you can use little poly pellets. I would put them right at the base of the tail to give it a little weight right down here, or maybe even like right behind where the thighs are. The way I recommend doing that is taking a nylon stocking and shoving the pellets into the toes, tie off a knot on the top, and then put that whole ball, like you can trim off any excess, put that whole ball inside wherever you want it. The reason I don't, the times I don't use poly pellets, the reasons I didn't in this pattern is if I'm making it for a small animal or if I'm making it for my dog. And I thought, or sorry, for a small human animal, for a small child, or when I'm making it for my dog. And I thought I might eventually at some point give this one to my dog to play with. And I don't, you know, you don't want it to break open and little pellets come out. They are choking hazards. So only use that if you're doing it purely as a decoration. Don't use them if you're doing it as a toy for a kid, especially a little kid. Older kids are probably okay. But so that's the new pattern. The other thing that's going on the blog right now is obviously we're on bag number 5 of the Bag-Along Cal. This is bag number 5. This pattern will be coming out next week. So this is the one with the sewn lining that has a pocket in it right there. Okay, so the lining instructions, the bag, everything is all part of the pattern, which will come out next week. And then the tutorials will start coming out. And for this one, I've got 3 tutorials that are going to come out. Three tutorials that are going to come out. And sometimes I don't know what my hands are doing. Over the next couple months. So that is bag number 5. So look for that pattern next week. Be sure to enter the giveaway in the meantime if you haven't already. If you go to the post that has all the materials, there's also the giveaway entry form. And the prizes for bag number 5 are this beautiful sketchbook and a wooden ruler, both from We Crochet. So be sure to go there and enter the giveaway for those. You have time. There's no rush right now. I will warn you when it gets closer. And that's pretty much what's going on the blog for right now. I have some other projects in the wings. I've got a blanket square for the Moogly Cal that's going to be coming up soon, so I'll get that done. I'm working on like 5 other things too. And there is a chance that this winter, for the first time in, let's see, calculating, 36 years, I may be going to India sometime in November and December. So I am working on weaving some gifts. So I'm spending all my spare time at my loom because I want to weave a couple of gifts to bring for my aunts and uncles. I don't have dates or anything final yet, but it's likely that end of November, early December, I'll probably be gone for a few weeks. Very exciting, but more about that later. Anyway, I think that's it for news. So let's jump into the demo portion. We're doing Knit Eyelet Lace. Let me zoom in a little bit here. There we go. Okay, so this is just a little swatch I've worked up. This is actually the pattern I'm working from, and I'm using it to show you a couple of different things about Eyelet Lace. So at its core, Eyelet Lace is basically just eyelets. A bunch of eyelets. This is really dark. Why is this so dark? Anyway, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, so this is basically eyelet lace is lace that you make with eyelets, these little holes, right? All an eyelet is a yarn over, but in order to keep your stitch count the same, because yarn overs would increase your stitch count, right? In order to keep your stitch count the same, you pair each yarn over with a decrease. So what does that look like? Because there's lots of different combinations. So let's do, I am on, yarn is stuck. There we go. I'm on this top row here of this pattern repeat. So I'm going to start with a knit stitch. You know what? This is weird. Hang on. Let me see if I can't brighten this at all. There we go. Okay. I don't know why it's acting like that, but anyway. So we are on this one right here. So that is the first stitch is a knit, and then we want to do a right leaning decrease. So my favorite right leaning decrease, of course, is the knit 2 together. So you just knit 2 together. You guys know how to do that decrease. And then you make the yarn over to make the hole. So this yarn over is paired with a knit 2 together, and I'm doing the knit 2 together first. I could also pair a yarn over with a left leaning decrease. So let me work 3 stitches and then I'll get to there. So 1, 2, 3. So I can also do a left leaning decrease and then the yarn over, and that would be a slip slip knit. Just like that, and then the yarn over. Okay? Or, see, these both have the decrease first and then the yarn over, right? I can also do the yarn over first and then the decrease. So here we have, let me do 1 stitch in between, right? Here we have the yarn over first, and then we're doing, in this case, the right leaning decrease, which is knit 2 together. Get over 3 more stitches. And here we have the yarn over first again, and then a left leaning decrease. So yarn over, and then the left leaning decrease, which in this case I'm doing a slip slip knit. Okay. And then I've just got my last stitch at the end. So those are 4 different sort of ways that you could do it with a different angle and whether you do it before or after. How do you decide which to use? If this stops attacking me, there we go. How do you decide which to use? Well, when you're working on lace patterns, first of all, it'll tell you if you're using a pattern. But if you're designing your own, the thing to remember is that the yarn over is either going to pull away, sorry, there we go. The decrease, is either going to pull away from the yarn over. So here, the yarn over is to the left, but the decrease is going to the right, right? So it's pulling away from the yarn over. And here, the yarn over is to the left and the decrease is going to the left, so it's pulling towards the yarn over. So I think of this as pulling my yarn overs, and I think of this as pushing into my yarn overs, right? So those produce 2 different results. If you're trying to get motion, like these yarn overs are moving in this direction, right? I want to pull away because that creates these really nice, even braids along the side. Okay, the decreases line up really nicely when you're pulling in a certain direction. So when I'm moving, pulling away gives me the nice edge to my yarn overs. When I'm standing still, when my yarn overs are stacked like this, pushing into the yarn over gives me a nice braid along the edge. Okay, it's a little squiggly. You see that? This one's a little nicer, but it gives you a nice even braid along the edge of the column when you're not doing motion, right? So I push into my yarn overs when I'm standing still. So pushing into a yarn over will make it stand still. Pulling away from a yarn over is good for movement, okay? Now, as far as whether to do the yarn over before or after, that depends on the design you're trying to create, and usually I'll mirror that, right? So usually I'll put, if I'm pulling out this way, I'll put the yarn overs on the outside. If I'm going in this way, then I'll put the yarn overs on the inside, so they're still pulling. So if I wanted to now go this way with my yarn overs, right? I don't want to push into them. I'm moving, so I want to pull them. So I can't push this way. Instead, I want to pull this way. You see that? So these ones I would have my yarn overs on the outside. These ones I would do my yarn overs on the, these ones I'd have my yarn overs on the inside. These ones I'd have my yarn overs on the outside because I want to pull away from them. And same way here, I'm pulling. If I want to go here, I don't want to push. I want to pull. So I want to go this way. Okay? So that's kind of how the yarn over works with the decrease. to give you the shaping you want. And that's the basic of eyelet lace. Now, one thing you might notice is in this pattern, I've only written down the right side rows. That's actually very common in this kind of lace pattern, where the lace is only worked on the right side, and the pattern will say, you know, I'm only showing right side rows, so on the wrong side rows, make sure to purl all your stitches. Now here I've got an edge stitch just to get a selvage here, just to get a nice neat edge. So I'm knitting my edge stitch, but then I'm just gonna purl all my stitches on the wrong side row. And when you purl into a yarn over, it opens it up. Do you see that? It opens it up to make that nice big eyelet. So I just purl across, and then I'm ready for my next pattern row. More complicated lace patterns, when you get into the more advanced ones, will have lace and patterning and decreases and eyelets and all of that going on both sides of the fabric. But the beginner patterns, and if you're going to try designing your own, the first ones you should try are with the lace only on the front, only on the right side. You can also do eyelet lace in garter stitch, and I have a pattern with some of that in there. It's called Eyelets in the Stream. It's part of the Harmony Blanket crochet or knit along, and the pattern's called Eyelets in the Stream, and you'll find that on my blog as well. But that is the basics of eyelet lace. So Kelly, I didn't say hello. Hello, welcome. Anybody else, any questions on the eyelet lace or on the pattern or on polyfilled beads, or sorry, poly pellets? They're called poly pellets. Or the giveaway, any of that? Any questions? Anything you want me to say again? So I've been thinking going forward about next year, because this is the time I do my planning for next year. And I think for next year, I'm not going to do a cal at all. I think I'm going to focus next year on more tutorials, because I need to build up that library, and on revamping some of my really old patterns where they're written, I mean, they work. They're just not they don't have all the nice pictures. Some of them are using discontinued yarns. I might make videos to go with them, but I might update some of the old patterns. But mostly I'm going to focus on my tutorial library for next year. I might pop in with a shorter term make along somewhere along the way, but I'm not going to do the year-long thing like I've done the last couple of years, because that kind of takes over the whole year then, right? And I don't get to do much of anything else. It's all the make along stuff. So we're taking a break next year, and I might be back with another year-long make along in a couple years, but we need a break for a year. And that's everything I have for you. So I will just say have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.